You've really screwed it this time, and now, full of regret, you're back to uncover all the secrets hidden in Chapter 3 of Poppy Playtime. So pay your respects to the prototype by liking, subscribing to the channel, and ringing the notification bell. Here you have 25 secrets of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. Inside Home Sweet Home, there's a Huggy Wuggy cardboard cutout with a button. Pressing it will trigger several voice lines, but the last one goes like this.
I'm gonna hug you until you pop.
It's a nod to the catchy Huggy Wuggy song from Chapter 1, where it says, he'll squeeze you until you pop.
He'll squeeze you until you pop.
In the Spanish subtitles, there's a little mistake. The voice line was translated as,
Te abrazaré hasta que explotes.
I'll hug you so tight that you'll poop yourself. It's quite funny, but if you think about it, it can be a bit gross. After restoring the electricity in Playcare, if you look up on your way to the school, you'll see Kissy Missy waving to you from the roof platform, cheering you up for your next challenge, Miss Delight. Along with the purple hand, the flare gun is one of the new additions to the player's grab pack. Its main function is to shoot flares to illuminate dark areas or repel light-sensitive creatures. You can carry up to a maximum of 5 flares, but if you examine the model of the hand within the game files, you can see that the screen can display up to the number 9. Interestingly, the text ooh-woo is also implemented, so it's believed that the gun would make a ooh-woo sound when out of flares. Ooh-woo. You might have missed this secret event due to the large amounts of red smoke in the office. If you look through this hole in the wall, you can see Catnap speeding by, but what you probably missed is that it's actually hunting a little bunzo bunny who, barely clinging to life, falls to the ground. It's likely that Catnap takes it to its secret altar, but more on that later. Dog Day revealed that he is the last survivor of the smiling critters besides Catnap, but what really happened to the rest? Thanks to the cardboard cutouts scattered around Playcare, we can learn a bit more about these characters, specifically a rather peculiar one, Picky Piggy.
Hi there, I'm Picky Piggy. Let's eat.
As Picky Piggy speaks, it's likely that he's revealing the fate that befell some of his companions like Kickin' Chicken or Bubba Bubbafint.
Down chicken? Down the hatch. Feared elephant? Yum!
Who unfortunately ended up serving as food for the rest of the factory's toys.
These little toys follow Catnap to avoid that very fate. And in return, they are fed.
This would explain why Dog Day has no legs, as by opposing the prototype, Catnap would hunt him down to use him as food.
Why are you just standing there?
It's believed that the images shown in the last trailer of Chapter 3 reveal Dog Day fleeing from Catnap before being captured and mutilated. Even though it is a terrible monster, Catnap is still a cat, and like the rest of the felines, it also catches prey to offer to its owner. In this case, Catnap feels a special devotion to the prototype, hence it hunts toys and accumulates them in a kind of sanctuary to worship it. Its transformation into Nightmare Catnap is possibly a hallucination caused by the red gas, and according to its creators, its design was going to be much more terrifying as it would have been composed of human corpses. Playcare has everything. Children slept in Home Sweet Home, learned in the school, and played in the playhouse. The office was there for making requests, and there was also a toy store. Unfortunately, this store is closed. It's a mystery what was inside, but thanks to the game files, it's been discovered that the player was supposed to explore the toy store. It's unclear why exactly it was cut. The only known fact about this place is that Catnap's shrine was supposed to be inside, but it was moved when the idea was scrapped. There were also rumors that Boxy Boo, the star toy of Project Playtime, would have been the boss of this area. As soon as you start exploring Playcare, Ollie will give you instructions to restore the electricity, but if instead of following them you wander around for more than 10 minutes, Ollie will call your attention to continue with the adventure.
Just go under the statue. Under the statue.
Before the release of Chapter 3, Poppy Playtime Chapter 1 was updated with better graphics and the inclusion of a mysterious lemon. If you get close or step on it, it'll say this.
Limon? Limon? Limon?
This seems to be a developer's joke because a lemon is also hidden in the Playcare school, and although it's not visible to players, if you manage to unlock the game camera and get inside the window, you'll see that behind one of the wooden bushes, there's another hidden lemon. After defeating Catnap, Poppy decides to traumatize you by showing you a video of what happened in the factory during the Hour of Joy. Numerous people were killed by Huggy Wuggy and Mommy Longlegs. Smiling critters and mini Huggies from Project Playtime also appear, attacking employees at one of the stations. Boxy Boo makes a brief appearance, Kissy Missy breaks free from her restraints, and Catnap wreaks havoc in Playcare. Lastly, an image of the Poppy, the flower that indicated where Poppy was locked up in Chapter 1, is shown. The developers of Chapter 3 have hidden a ton of Easter eggs throughout Playcare. For instance, on some bookshelves you can see images from Project Playtime, and the authors are real people who worked on the game. Some office names also correspond to game developers, like Nick Carpenter or Greg Fectau. But our favorite Easter egg is the photos of the orphans from Home Sweet Home. Most of them are real photos of the Mob Entertainment team when they were little, hung in rooms and hallways as a fun cameo. Our favorite is Baby Tyler, the community manager of Mob Entertainment. MatPat's farewell as the host of the Game Theorist channel coincided with the development of Chapter 3 of Poppy Playtime, which is why you can find a small tribute to the YouTuber inside Home Sweet Home. In one of the frames, you can read the following: "A clap and a half to you, we will miss you."
That means a lot. It's really nice to be a part of this and to be a part of such a cool chapter of such a cool game.
A nod to how MatPat's teacher in school would reward a student when they did something well.
Here we go!
In one of the rooms of Home Sweet Home, you can find Kissy Missy looking at a picture. Now, if you get close enough, you'll see it's a picture of a girl, which could suggest two things. Either Kissy Missy misses someone she shared a room with when she was a human, or perhaps she's trying to remember the old times when she was a girl before being turned into a toy. In Chapter 3, Kissy Missy and Poppy team up, and if you look closely at the doll's face, you can see it has a crack on one side. It's believed to have been caused during the train accident in Chapter 2. The toy store isn't the only significant section of the game that ended up getting cut. Within the files, a mysterious water attraction can be found. It seems that the giant rubber ducks scattered around Playcare and near Dog Day's prison were going to be functional, and the player could pilot them on the water. According to the data, you had to follow the water current and activate mechanisms to progress, and it's believed that a toy shark might have been chasing you to add more tension. In Playcare itself, there are several posters promoting the amusement park Playtime Park. Like Bendy and the Ink Machine, Poppy Playtime has its own amusement park. And speaking of posters, the design of Mommy Longlegs wearing a gas mask is a reference to the fan-made video by YouTuber Secret Force Studio, where Mommy appeared with her face covered. To the left of the Playcare offices, you can find a Catnap plushie next to a turned-on radio. If you listen carefully, you'll hear a song made by YouTuber and composer Charlie Green, CG5. Known for creating music videos for horror franchises like Five Nights at Freddy's, Poppy Playtime, or Bendy and the Ink Machine. This is of course no coincidence, as months before the release of Chapter 3 of Poppy Playtime, Charlie visited the offices of Mob Entertainment to make a song called Sleep Well. Finding musical references to YouTubers in horror games is not something new, as it was a practice popularized by Bendy and the Ink Machine by hiding songs in different chapters of the game. Dog Day is the literal representation of having a bad hair day, because being mutilated and having a bunch of demonic beings enter your body and eat your insides must not be very pleasant. During the chase, there will come a time when the path splits into 3 different slides. Normally, you choose the middle one because it's more convenient, but in reality, all 3 slides are functional, and although they all lead to the same place, each one will have a slightly different route. In the area where you must face Catnap, you can find a videotape that reveals a disturbing secret about Experiment 1006. It seems the prototype is capable of mimicking other people's voices, allowing it to impersonate others to deceive them.
Do you feel anything?
This This ability is very reminiscent of the Mimic from the Five Nights at Freddy's series, and if you're not familiar with it, you'd better watch all its secrets in the video above. In the credits of Chapter 3, the prototype has 7 different voice actors representing the various voices heard when it speaks. You might not have noticed, but while the tape is playing, you can occasionally see a laser pointer moving across the wall. This is actually the prototype signaling, as in Chapter 2, it was explained that it made a laser pointer to escape.
The prototype seemingly disassembled the digital alarm clock within his room and utilized the battery, along with several other components, to create a laser pointer.
And is believed to have been used to guide Catnap to where it wanted, because we all know what happens with cats and laser pointers, right? Unfortunately, this theory doesn't quite hold up, because it seems to be about specks of red dust in suspension. We mentioned Miss Delight earlier, but who is she really? According to the 6 notes scattered throughout the school, Delight was another teacher at Playcare, but during the Hour of Joy, Catnap locked her in the school along with the rest of her sisters. The problem was that she was bullied, and while the others hid in the kitchen, Delight was left outside with barely anything to eat. When things calmed down, the sisters came out and found that Delight was not only alive, but had also crafted a mace called Barb and was ready to kill them all for their betrayal. She eventually murdered them, and Delight used their bodies as food to survive. When Catnap finally opened the school doors, it saw what had happened and made a pact with Miss Delight to protect Playcare and worship the prototype. The name Barb is a reference to Mattel's Barbie doll, likely the Weird Barbie. Remembering the past can sometimes be traumatic, as it seems that the protagonist of Poppy Playtime still has nightmares about Huggy Wuggy, although perhaps he remembers it more horribly than it actually was. The dream that Catnap immerses you in upon entering Home Sweet Home is not just a corridor nightmare, it's also a revelation about the player's truth. On one of the radios, you can hear reversed audio, which when inverted, reveals the following.
1995.
I find your presence intrusive. After all this time you return. You come in here and you kill and murder. You pillage and destroy. Your presence was demanded 10 years ago and you didn't show up. 8/8/1995. You were supposed to be here. Why weren't you here? You missed the event. You missed the meeting. You missed the party. You have no right to be here.
It seems the protagonist was just another factory employee who was reproached for leaving on August 8, 1995, the very day the Hour of Joy occurred, the biggest massacre in the history of Playtime Company. He is also blamed for returning after so long only to kill those left inside and leave everything destroyed. It is likely that the player is responsible for what happened that day. Perhaps someone warned him not to go to the company that day because something horrible was going to happen, and instead of warning the rest of the innocent colleagues, he decided to keep quiet and live with the guilt until now. When the player rides the cable car and arrives at Playcare while Elliot Ludwig presents the facilities, it's a reference to the video game BioShock and how its protagonist arrives at Rapture through a submarine while Andrew Ryan explains the history of the city. In the central square of Playcare, you can read posters with descriptions of the smiling critters, all except for Catnap's. This one is actually lying on the ground, and to read it, you need to go out of the map's bounds. It doesn't say anything special and corresponds to the information already shared by Mob Entertainment on their Twitter account. In the school, you can also read some interesting documents related to activities for the children. During Miss Delight's chase, you can read an announcement for the Drama Club of Shadows, an extracurricular activity that taught children to scare, have macabre behaviors, and tell horror stories. There's also a notice about the disappearance of some students and teachers and the school schedule. Interestingly, the Hour of Joy coincides with the break time. Catnap is the monster protagonist of Chapter 3, but what you might not know is that before becoming a toy, he was just another child at Playcare. His real name is Theodore Gramble, but shortly before he turned into Catnap, he had an accident by electrocuting himself using a grab pack to free the prototype. It seems that Theodore and Experiment 1006 became friends. They were planning to escape from Playcare and even free the rest of the orphans. The problem is that Theo got electrocuted in the process, and instead of escaping, escaping, the prototype decided to save his life. This is why Catnap holds such esteem for Experiment 1006, to the point of worshipping it like a god. Fate is very capricious, and at the end of Chapter 3, Catnap fails again by getting electrocuted once more. But this time the prototype won't forgive him and will end his life once and for all. If you pay attention to the Chapter 3 trailer, you'll discover that there are some interesting differences. Both the gas mask and the flare gun are found in different places compared to their final version. During the trailer, you can see a cinematic clip that doesn't actually appear in the game. It's believed to be Dog Day being chased by Catnap, and the decoration of the slides in Dog Day's chase were replaced by fences. By the way, Chapter 3 of Poppy Playtime took 8 months to complete and was planned to be released in December 2023 to coincide with the second anniversary of the game, but it was ultimately delayed to January 2024. Everyone hates Miss Delight's part due to its difficulty, but what you probably didn't know is that before the game's release, this segment was actually even more complicated. Players who got to test the game before, including us thanks to the Partners in Crime program, complained about how difficult this was, and Mob Entertainment fixed it. Before the fix, Delight moved when the lights went out, but after fixing the game, she stays still when you look at her and moves only when you're not looking, a reference to Doctor Who's Weeping Angels. Who really is Ollie? This character, who appeared out of nowhere and allied with Poppy, seems a bit suspicious. It's believed that Ollie is actually the prototype emulating this character's voice, and his plan would consist of luring the player into the factory to free him. Obviously, it won't be easy, and to test if he's worthy, it would put its best minions at his disposal. Do you know any more secrets about Chapter 3? Leave it in the comments, cause we actually read them. And if you're craving more, check out the rest of our videos about Poppy Playtime. See you next time!